Hello and welcome everyone. Today's video features a complete review guide of the brand new Royal Navy Tier 8 light carrier HMS Theseus. Now Theseus is a light carrier of the Colossus class, the most numerous class of light aircraft carrier in the Royal Navy. She entered service in 1946, not able to participate in World War II, but she did actively participate in the Korean War as part of the UN forces there. So what does Theseus bring to the table? She is the first Royal Navy aircraft carrier that gets skip bombers. Theseus features a blend of characteristics somewhat similar to Indomitable, with only two small squadrons of high-speed, survivable aircraft available. The first squadron is made up of torpedo bombers, carrying a large number of torpedoes per drop, 4 in this case, while each torpedo deals low damage individually. The second squadron carries 1 high damage skip bomb per plane, 3 per drop. These bombs have a unique feature of being extremely inaccurate on the first skip, while becoming very accurate by the third. Very quickly rounding out the loadout of the Theseus, it's an average plane regen time, making limited losses somewhat sustainable, but having very limited hangar space. The aircraft have relatively poor maneuverability, there is a lack of secondaries, and long-range AA will making defending against enemy aircraft attack very challenging. Now basically, Theseus's strengths make her an excellent fast-attacking aircraft carrier, capable of keeping up the pressure on the enemy so long as care is taken to minimize the plane losses. Against enemy battleships, the fast travel time of her aircraft makes Theseus effective at setting fires and floods, while the precise aim with her skip bombers can quite easily deal heavy damage to lighter targets. You want to try and focus on striking targets that are already engaged with their teammates, as the poor maneuverability will make spotting and attacking your own targets challenging. Now let's see how this ship performs in reality in a tier 10 environment, because let's face it, the vast majority of your games are going to be fighting tier 10 opponents. I just wanted to use those opening scenes to show you the plane stats, the drop patterns, the actual damage applied by a perfect drop. Let's start the review properly. So while we have looked at the individual aircraft, how they perform against static targets, we will see how both sets of attack aircraft do against tier 10 opponents. At the start of games, I prefer to get my planes out in front, and using the high speed of these aircraft, they are very good at spotting initial fleet movements at the start of games, and potentially trying to take on any isolated target, so to avoid multiple AA bubbles. Theseus is a very lightly armoured carrier. Now just using a simple port screenshot here on screen, we can see the armour values. The deck, unlike Implacable and Indomitable, is very light. You only get 25mm of deck armour. The rest is covered by 19mm and a torpedo protection belt of 21mm, superstructure 19. If we look at the actual citadel of the ship, you can see very lightly armoured, well raised above the waterline, just starting in the middle of the superstructure. If we look at the armour values on that citadel, you can see it gets a deck armour of 19mm, side armour 19 and 21, and the athwart ship 21. So very light. This ties in directly to the hit points, only 47,600. So this is the same as the Colossus, but well behind the likes of Implacable and Indomitable. You get a torpedo protection damage reduction of 13% due to the 21mm torpedo belt, so very lightly protected. You want to avoid taking incoming fire at all cost. So I'm going to quickly go through the ship's stats in detail. We've already taken a detailed look at the aircraft, their numbers, which I put up on screen earlier. The Theseus also defensively gets access to the depth charge airstrike. This has a reload time of 25 seconds, 1 available flight, 1 attacking aircraft per flight, with an operational range of 7 kilometers, with 1 bomb in its payload. Now the max bomb damage on these automatically dropped airstrikes is 4,200. Theseus gets an AA defense rating of 69. Now this is made up of having 17 single-mounted 40mm guns and 6 quad-mounted 40mm turrets. So 41 40mm guns in total. Now this is very limited. The continuous average damage is only 410 with a hit probability of 100%, but only having 3.5 kilometers in range. Priority sector reinforcement has an action time of 15 seconds and a prep time of 5 seconds. So no flak whatsoever and a very limited short firing range of 3.5 kilometers. When it comes to maneuverability, again Theseus feels quite limited. 26.3 knots is the max speed with the speed flag, so a base speed of 25 knots, 26.3 with the Sierra Mike. It has a turning circle radius of 890 meters and a rudder shift time of 10.7 seconds. Finally, just stats-wise, it has a concealment rating of 56 with this build, a surface detection range by enemy ships at 11.4 kilometers, and by enemy subs and aircraft both at 9.7 kilometers. I've been primarily harassing this Salem. This drop angle is not the greatest, but there is a pretty tight drop pattern. We're still able to get a decent drop. We managed to land 2. I've taken critical damage. I think I'll just get back to the carrier. We'll keep alternating our attack aircraft. We'll come back in with these skip bombers. I've been primarily trying to keep the fight around the cap. The Salem has finally managed to able to cap that central point. So we'll just have a look around and see if there are any targets of opportunity to be had. There is a Schlieffen out there. Looks to be isolated. We'll just stay out of the AA bubble of the Salem. We'll maneuver our way around. Schlieffen is sailing broadside. Does seem to be alone. We'll initiate the attack. I have been trying to use this maximum accuracy option on this third and final drop, and it does pay off. We only get 2 non-pens, but we set a double fire. This is perfect. I'll come back in quickly and try and get an attack off on the Salem. He is static, he's vulnerable. Get our attack off quickly. We get 2 pens. Salem is critically low. He is being rushed by my Z-52, it would seem. Z-52 does torp out the Salem. So we'll go looking for another target.
I need intelligence data.
Z-52 does unfortunately die to the Schlieffen secondaries.
Fighter airborne.
We'll just drop a fighter here to mitigate these incoming dive bombers from the Yorktown. Schlieffen is still isolated, so we'll come back and attempt to get a drop on the Schlieffen. Now these torpedoes are quite slow. To carefully gauge your target speed. Does seem to be speeding up. These might be just a little bit behind. There's a thunderstorm incoming. We do manage to get 3. It was ever so slightly behind. We do get a flood on the Schlieffen. Yorktown is detected. We'll very quickly try and take a shot of opportunity here. We drop at max range. We do get 2 torps into the water. No, we'll come back with some more torpedo planes. I do try and alternate as much as possible to give the regen times to kick in. I'm not really concerned about getting double strikes away the whole time. Usually one good solid strike, and then depending on the damage, is more than enough. Come in. We are entering multiple bubbles here from the Yamato and the Napoli.
Well done, Commander.
We do get a decent strike off. There's a Vermont there as well. There's no way we're going to be able to get another strike off, so we just alternate back to the skip bombers. We get 4 torps on the Yamato. No flood, unfortunately. But we'll come back in. We'll try and get a strike off quickly on Yamato. This is the big benefit of having fast aircraft. You can constantly keep the pressure on. Yamato is burning. We'll aim high, trying to get those superstructure upper casemate hits. We get 3 full pens. We take out the Yamato. Back with the torpedo planes. There is a Napoli up there that we can potentially drop.
Our victory is in sight.
Game has turned successfully to our side. Napoli is taking heavy fire. He's smoking up. We'll try and get a drop on the Napoli. No, we won't. He gets taken out. Let's just get away from that Vermont as quickly as possible. We'll hit the border here and come back around. Hopefully to get a drop off on Vermont before the game ends. Vermont has quite decent AA. Try and come in from his blind side. His AA starts. The flak is there. Turning in towards me. We get our drop off. We'll get our planes out. We get the combat scout achievement for spotting damage, and the game ends. So, quite a decent little carrier. Very fast planes. The only drawback I seem to find is the flooding chance on the torpedoes. The fire chance on the bombs is really quite decent. So I hope you enjoyed this quick little preview guide of the HMS Theseus. If you'd like to see some live gameplay, feel free to come over and visit me on Twitch. You can see the link here on screen. I look forward to seeing you all.